Alright, so I have my lining of the structured bodice on the dress form. Here's my neckline right here. Okay, this is center front. And we're going to start applying this bias band, this 3-inch bias band, around the neckline, like so. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to hold this. I'm going to take, so here's the side that I pinked. Okay, that's going to be facing down. This cut edge here, okay, is going to be lining up right with the cut edge of the lining. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pin it on there, and I'm going to stretch it. That's why we cut it on bias, so we can stretch it. And you'll notice I'm overlapping my center front a little bit. We'll trim this back eventually, but right now we just want to leave a little extra to work with. Pull that back just a little bit more right there. And I'm going to start pinning just through the bias and the lining, okay? I don't want to pin through my form because I need to be able to take my lining off the form and not have it stuck to it. All right, so let's go ahead and just work around this. Make sure it stays. And we're going to have, over the fullness here, a little bit of ease, but we'll pin that into place and kind of ease it in. We're going to do some hand stitches down there. So right now, let's just work on the neckline, get a couple pins in, and then we'll start pinning down the bottom as well. Okay, just kind of stretching that around. And here at the bottom of it, I'm going to just gently kind of ease this hair form, or this interfacing, around the bust. I'll make sure I don't pull my neckline down or misshape it anyway. Good. Again, we have this ease in here, and just kind of, just have to kind of manipulate it around. And you can always go back and pin and repin. Work it out there just a little. Just working it as I go, stretching it but not pulling too hard. It's nice and connected to our bodice. We're at side seam now. And I'm going to trim it even with my side seam. Okay, and this is going to tuck right underneath that side seam. Okay, you might have to trim it back a little bit more if it doesn't tuck right in there. You don't want to put any extra bulk. That looks good actually. I'll just pin that in place. Okay, there we are. So we've done one part of it. This again I'll trim back when I go to do this side for now, and you can see we've kind of eased it in a little bit. We're going to hand catch this down with a catch stitch later. Okay, around the neckline it will be stay stitched on. Okay, so now let's continue going around the back, and do the back here as well. So I'm just going to start by overlapping a little bit. That side seam. Again, that gives us a little play if we need to adjust something. The back is much easier because I don't have any kind of curvature to go around for the neckline or the bust, which needs contour. I don't have to do any of that, so it's pretty straightforward in the back. Just make sure our seam allowances stay nice and flat and open. Pull that tight. Stays nice and close to the body. Come around right to center back. There we are at center back. Okay, and for now I'm just going to cut this even with my center back, like so. Okay, let's come back to side seam. That looks pretty good. Let's cut this even with our side seam now. And open up that side, just lift that side seam up and tuck it right underneath, like so. And pin that in place. There we are. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. I'm going to trim back my center front. Start with. And I'm going to overlap that center front for now, and I'm going to do the same thing around this side that I did on that side. Okay? And we'll speed this up just so you can see it. Okay, there we are. Here's my other side. Done. Okay, so let's go ahead back here to center front. And we're going to trim this one now so it just barely overlaps the first one we put on. Like so. Small adjustment here. There we are. Okay, so now what we're going to go do is we're going to go to the sewing machine and we're going to stay stitch around the neckline of this all the way from center back around to center back. And we're going to stay stitch right on our original stay stitching that we had previously had there from when we first sewed the line together. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the sewing machine and do that.